Hi, it's Ileana, and today I'm remote viewing if UFO material can cloak, reassemble, and self-destruct, as well as if extraterrestrial spacecrafts are built with materials that can reconfigure the shapes of spaceships to different formats. So when I started doing the remote viewing, I got yes. When remote viewing advanced extraterrestrial craft, both the material composition and the structural engineering principles reveal that cloaking, reassembly, and full self-destruction are all possible features and often integrated into the same vessel. So it can be integrated into the same vessel with all those components. Here's what comes through in detail. Number one, cloaking capabilities. Metamaterial skin. The outer hull often uses a layered crystalline metallic lattice interspersed with nanoscale photonic arrays. These arrays can bend, scatter, or absorb light and electromagnetic frequencies, rendering the craft invisible or blending it with the surrounding star field or planetary atmosphere. Phase shift cloak. Some craft use a vibrational frequency shift, temporarily moving the hull's matter fractionally out of the visible EM spectrum or into a near-dimensional overlay. This doesn't just make them visually invisible, it removes radar and LiDAR returns entirely. So radar and LiDAR do not pick up any return signals at all, so there's nothing showing up on radar or LiDAR of the craft. So the craft is totally cloaked and invisible. Field bubble concealment. The ship can create a surrounding toroidal energy field that refracts incoming signals and light, effectively bending an observer's perception. So bending an observer's perception around it. Number two, self-reassembly and modularity. Morphogenic hull plates. The material can flow like a controlled liquid crystal under specific resonance commands, allowing the ship to reform from damage or reconfigure its shape. So everything can energetically reconfigure itself and reassemble itself into its proper shape and reformat as it has that energy frequency to do so. Quantum locked connectors. Components snap back into alignment using a quantum lattice memory, meaning that even shattered pieces will migrate toward one another when activated by the ship's command core. Nanite lattice regrowth. Millions of microscopic AI-assisted construction units embedded in the hull can rebuild complex surfaces or internal systems from stored molecular templates. Then we go to number three, self-destruction protocols. And this is for protection and security, so these types of crafts don't get into the wrong hands. Molecular disassociation. At the highest security setting, the hull lattice breaks its atomic bonds in a rapid chain reaction, reducing the ship to harmless dust or plasma within seconds. Dimensional dumping. Some craft phase their own matter into a dead dimensional pocket, effectively vanishing the entire vessel from this universe rather than leaving wreckage behind. Energetic overload. The central power crystal can be overdriven until it releases a non-nuclear but intense burst of light and energy that vaporizes all core systems. Number four, shape-shifting structural formats. Adaptive morphing. Hull sections can slide, expand, or fold into new configurations for stealth, atmospheric entry, or space combat. Fractal reassembly. The ship's base design exists as a set of mathematical patterns. The hull rearranges according to these fractal templates to become spheres, disks, elongated craft, or even segmented fleets. So the internal memory of the ship has database components that remember these configurations of what these crafts can shapeshift into. and morph into, so it can do fractal reassembly. Environmental matching. In some instances, ships reshape to mimic local craft designs or natural formations. Example, appearing as a rocky asteroid or a comet, something like 3I Atlas or Oumuamua. So it can mimic natural rock formations like asteroids, comets, and other things in space, but it's actually a spacecraft and not a natural rock formation floating in space. So that's one of the features. And then we go into the perception from this remote viewing. When observed clairvoyantly, these craft feel alive, not in a biological sense, but as if the ship and its materials are in constant communication with the pilot's mind. The reconfiguration process looks like a ripple of quicksilver across the hull, accompanied by a shift in the surrounding energy field, as though space itself bends to assist the transformation. Here's a full written map of the metamaterial, hull's layered composition, along with the pilot control systems for cloaking, morphing, and destruction based on remote viewing impressions. So we'll start with the metamaterial hull, layered composition map, layer 1, outer quantum optic skin cloaking interface. Material, self-orienting nanoprism photonic arrays embedded in a graphene crystal matrix. Function, refracts, absorbs, or redirects incoming light, radar, LiDAR, and other EM frequencies, so the craft can't be picked up by radar, LiDAR, or its EM frequencies cannot be recorded anywhere. Special note, can alter its refractive index dynamically, making the hull invisible, or optically camouflaged to match the surrounding starfield atmosphere or even another object's signature. So these types of crafts that can morph, can cloak, and have metamaterial hull, they can appear as stars, they can move into starfield, an atmosphere, or even another object signature, and they will blend in with their surroundings. It's sort of like Beatriz Villarroel's disappearing stars in the Vasco project on those Vasco plates. One moment, it looked like objects were there and then they disappeared, and that's what was photographed on the Vasco plates. That's what she documented. So some of these crafts have that ability to look like stars, to morph, to shield, to transform, or blend in and cloak with surroundings or camouflage. So they'll appear like moving stars, or there was a signature of something in one place and then it disappeared from space. And that's what was recorded on those plates in the 1950s. And that's one of the projects Beatriz Villarroel has just done a paper on. And I remote viewed that. So that was interesting. It has these sort of crafts in that remote viewing as well. And this is kind of like the follow-up on that. So we're going now to layer 2, phase shift metafilm. Material, semi-fluid zero-point reactive plasma held in a lattice of superconducting filaments. Function, enables partial dimensional displacement, moving the craft fractionally out of the observer's dimension. Special note, often used in combination with layer 1 for true invisibility, no light reflection, no EM signature, and no gravitational shadow. Layer 3, morphogenic hull frame. Material, memory metal crystal alloy infused with nanite colonies. Function, allows structural reconfiguration, shifting from saucer to cylinder, sphere, or modular segmented form. Special note, controlled by harmonic resonance commands. The alloy remembers multiple blueprints and can reform into any of them instantly. Layer 4, energy conduction web. Material, woven superconductive threads of iridium gold titanium hybrid. So it's woven superconductive threads of iridium gold titanium hybrid. So it uses different resources that are crystalline in nature and other components as well. Function distributes power from the central crystal core to all parts of the hull instantly. Special note, also carries encoded resonance signals from the pilot's control system to specific nanite clusters for localized repairs or shape adjustments. Layer 5. So it has different layers. Structural integrity field SIF matrix. That's layer 5. Material. Toroidally charged graviton mesh surrounding the frame. Function. Prevents disassembly under stress, even at extreme speeds or during partial phasing. Special note. In self-destruct mode, the field inverts, forcing molecular bonds to break in a controlled cascade. Layer 6. Inner biointerfacing lining. Material. Soft neural, reactive, organic, synthetic composite. So it's the soft neural, reactive, organic, synthetic composite. Function. Directly connects to pilot's neural field and biometric energy signature. Special note, reads micro thought impulses, intention shifts, and emotional states. No mechanical controls are required. This is all done through thought consciousness transfer, telepathic ability, and psionic abilities. That's how it's done between the ship and the pilots. Control system used by ET pilots. Primary interface, neuro-harmonic link. Pilots wear no gloves or headgear. The control is purely bioenergetic. So thought-to-thought consciousness, transference, psionics, and telepathy. The hull's layer 6 reads the pilot's electrical neural impulses, auric resonance, and heart-mind coherence state. Commands are encoded in subtle tone thought patterns, a hybrid of mental visualization and internally generated frequency hums. So that's the primary interface neuroharmonic link. It is all done telepathically and psionically. Cloaking activation. Number 1. Pilot visualizes folding the ship into the background environment. Number 2. Biointerface detects the thought frequency and sends a harmonic pulse to layers 1 and 2. Number 3. Outer skin changes refractive index plus phase shift metafilm engages, removing the ship from standard detection from LiDAR and radar signaling. The ship can't be detected on that anymore once it's phase cloaked and invisible. Morphing shape reconfiguration, like the shape shifting abilities. Number 1, pilot holds a visual template of the desired shape in mind. Number 2, neural signal instructs layer 3 nanites to unlock specific crystal memory patterns. Number 4, morphogenic alloy flows under microgravity field manipulation, reforming to match the blueprint. So that's number 3. Number 4, SIF matrix readjusts to new geometry within milliseconds. Then we go to the safe destruction security measures. There's 2 modes. Silent erasure, pilot triggers a mental dismissal command with 0 motional charges. Layers 3 to 5 activate molecular disassociation. Ship becomes fine dust or plasma. And it just disintegrates. It's not exploding, it's just disintegrating, so nobody can have access to it that's not supposed to. Dimensional disposal. Pilot focuses on folding away the ship. Energy conduction web inverts polarity, phasing the entire hull into a null pocket dimension. Nothing remains, and there's no explosion, so nobody's hurt. When remote viewing, the most striking sensation is that the ship responds more like a living organism than a machine. with the pilot's consciousness acting as its core operating system. Now we're going to look at the stuff that is more interactive here. Here's the schematic diagram style written blueprint showing all 6 metamaterial hull layers and their real-time neural connection flow with the pilot. What happens between the ship and the pilot? Metamaterial hull neural integration blueprint. Outer space environment, layer 1, outer quantum optic skin, cloaking interface. Position, outermost shell, purpose, optical and EM camouflage neural link receives visualization patterns from the pilot's mind, specifically environmental match images, real-time flow. Number 1, pilot imagines blending into surroundings. Number 2, layer 6 interprets the thought form. Number 3, layer 1 shifts refractive index and EM signature instantly. And layers, these are the layers of these types of ships that can do this type of advanced technological shifting, invisibility, morphing because of the metamaterial hull that's in these layers. So the layers are part of what the ship does. Now we're going to look at layer 2. Phase shift metafilm dimensional displacement position beneath layer 1. Purpose, partial phasing out of the visible EM spectrum. Neural link triggers from a specific harmonics tone in the pilot's mental frequency stream. Real-time flow. Number 1. Pilot holds slipping between layers of reality feeling. Number 2. Layer 6 sends resonance code. Number 3. Layer 2 plasma lattice shifts vibrational phase. Craft becomes dimensionally translucent as a result. Layer 3. Morphogenic hull frame. Shape-shifting. Position. Core structural frame. Purpose. Shape transformation and reassembly. Neural link. Linked to pilot's geometric intention imagery. Mental blueprints of desired shape. Real-time flow. Number 1, pilot visualizes final shape in full detail. Number 2, layer 6 activates nanite swarm plus memory alloy patterns. Number 3, hull flows into new geometry within seconds. Then we go to layer 4, energy conduction web, power and command network. Position embedded between layers 3 and 5. Purpose, distributes both energy and neural command signals. Neural link acts as the nervous system for the entire craft. Real-time flow. Pilot thought form enters layer 6. That was number 1. Number 2 is layer 4 transmits energy plus command code to the correct hull sector. Now we go to layer 5. Structural integrity field SIF matrix hull stabilization destruction control. That's what this acronym is. Position, encasing layer 3 inside a graviton mesh. Purpose, maintains hull stability during high stress or triggers molecular disassembly if needed. Neural link, reads emotional tone of pilot for destruct commands. Must be calm, detached, and precise. Real-time flow, for stability, maintains field harmonics in sync with pilot's heartbeat rhythm. For self-destruct, pilot flattens emotional signal, mesh polarity inverts, bonds collapse, and the craft disassembles. Layer 6, inner biointerface lining, pilot neural link. Position, innermost hull lining in direct contact with cockpit walls, seat, and floor. Purpose, translates pilot's neural, auric, and emotional inputs into operational commands. Neural link, full three-way integration, brainwave, neural link, full three-way integration, brainwave patterns, bioelectric field, and subtle energy resonance. Real-time flow, reads pilot's thought form, emotion, and inner sound frequency. Number 2, converts into encoded resonance pulses. Number 3, sends to layer 4, cascades outward to layers 1 to 5 depending on command. And now we have the data flow sequence diagram in written form. Pilot neural field, brainwave plus emotion plus subtle energy. Layer 6 biointerface thought translation goes to layer 4 energy web signal distribution, then goes to layer 1 cloak skin visual refraction, layer 2 phase film dimensional shift, layer 3 morphogenic frame shape change, layer 5 SIF matrix stability or disassembly. And these are some of the ways that this craft can morph into different shapes and configurations. Saucer is the most typical one, grayish, blue, silver, metallic alloy looking saucer craft that can morph into cylinder shape, sphere, anything else that you can imagine it could morph into. So it's an advanced technological UFO spacecraft that can morph, forms, and also change into different shape configurations with reassembly metamaterials. So this is just an image example of what these craft can look like, and that plasmatic invisibility cloaking shield around it, that's the plasma around the craft with its ability to cloak and shapeshift and phase in and out of reality. So that is the follow-up remote viewing on what I did on the Beatriz Villarroel information. And because it had some of these craft appearing and disappearing on the Vasco plates, from the Palomar Observatory of those findings that Dr. Beatriz Villarroel studied and wrote a paper about. So this is the type of crafts with these layers, layer 1 to 6. That's what their capabilities are, and that's what's most likely what was observed in those Vasco plates that she just did a paper on in the study of non-man-made artificial structures disappearing in and out of space reality, looking like stars, but they're not stars. They're this stuff that was just remote viewed. So I wanted to share that information. Thank you so much.